Hello, everybody. It's Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you guys so much for stopping by for a new Tuesday tip. Hey, I've got a really fun technique to share with you today. We're going to take an old classic and give it a modern twist. We are going to create some chevron patterns out of some scrap pieces of designer series paper. Guys, this is such a wow technique. It's very easy to do because I have got a special download for you that's going to make creating these patterns out of that paper super easy. I'm so excited to share it with you. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the chevron technique. Oh, friends, I am so excited to teach you this very simple and unique technique, the chevron paper technique. It really is simple to do. And what's great, it really is a great way to use up just some scraps of designer series paper. If you've got some little scraps, now I'm using all of the same pattern, but you know what? Mix it up. Have some fun. We're going to start with this card here, and then I'm going to show you the double chevron at the end of the video. So, because I love to make things easy for you guys, I actually have a free download for you that goes along with the video. But more than just the download, I have a diagram that's going to help you, because I know when I went to create this card, getting those folds right kind of had my head spinning. So once I created this diagram, it became easy peasy. You can find that diagram at SimplySimpleStamping.com, or you can look down in the YouTube description. There is a direct link to it. And hey, if you need to come back and review the video, you can click here or scan the QR code. I've got your supply list, your measurements, everything that you need, and of course, your free download or your free diagram. I'm going to keep that nearby because I'm going to want that as I create my card. But first, let's talk about the supplies we need to create our very first card. My base in the background, my base color is mint macaron. This is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My card base is in petal pink, and this is cut 5 1/4 by 8 inches and scored at 4 inches. And you can see that's going to allow that card to sit right there on top of the mint macaron. For the inside of my card, I have a piece of very vanilla. This is a 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. And then, of course, let's talk about our designer series paper. I'm going to be using By the Bay today for all my cards, actually. And this is just one of the pieces. They come 6 by 6. Guys, you are going to need 6 pieces that are 1 inch by 2 1/2 inches. So I was easily able to get that out of half a sheet of designer series paper. So that's great. Now we're actually only going to use 5 of them for the front of our card for a chevron pattern. But I had you cut 6 for a reason. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But first, let's bring in that diagram and start to create our chevron pattern. So you can see here I need 3 on one side and I need 2 on the other. And I'm going to tell you something, because this paper has this great foil in it, I'm going to take what I'm going to call my least favorite. I'm going to set that one off to the side because I want to showcase as much of that gold as I can. So we're going to start with the 3, one of our 3s. And you can see I have got the triangle from this corner, and we're just going to bring it straight down. Let me bring this here where you can see a little bit better. And can you see how I just brought this corner down, lining it up, making sure that point is sharp? And now you can see I'm going to take the opposite corner, so the bottom left, and we're going to bring it up to the right. You're going to want to do your best to get those set just right. And then I have another diagram here that I can set my actual piece on and go, yep, I did it right. So that's one. Let's repeat that now with our remaining 2 pieces. And by the way, I want you to notice that there is one side that I'm keeping down and one side that I'm keeping up. So I want that gold. I really like that gold showing. So I'm going to kind of, before I start to fold, I want to always look and see where that gold foil is. And again, nice and slow, steady, wins the race. We'll do right to the left, and now a left to the right. All right, 1, 2, and 3. They're all correct. They're all going the right way. I feel good. We're going to set those there. Now we're going to take the remaining two, and guess what? We're going to just do everything the opposite. So we're now going to go from the left hand top and bring that over to the right side. And we're going to take the right bottom over to the left side. So you can see, basically, we're doing the exact same thing, just in the opposite direction. And that, of course, is so that we can get that chevron pattern going on. And let me double check. Yes, I've done it right. We're going to repeat that with our final piece of designer series paper. I have to tell myself, guys, look what I did. I folded the wrong direction. I have been known to do that. And you know what? That's why I had you cut an extra one. We're still going to use this because we're going to use it on the inside, but it does happen. You get to folding and you fold the wrong way. So guess what? We are just going to take that spare. We always love having that spare. And I'm going to try to get it right this time. But now you know why we always have that little backup one. And it's all good because, like I said, we'll use that extra, that little mess up. We're going to use it on the inside of our card. All right. So now I'm going to verify. Yep, I've got 2 of those, 3 of those. Guess what? The hardest part is done. Now we can put this card together. You can now come in with a bone folder. Give all of those score lines a really nice crease. This also gives you that chance if you miss the side a little bit. Remember, we really do want these to be as close to just right on that edge. We want them to be nice and tight. That's going to give us that great pattern. Okay, let's bring in our petal pink card base. And you know what, before I even do anything, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start to put these together. And it's pretty easy to see how that actual chevron goes. And we have an extra, right? Yep, that's exactly what we want. That's going to go right there on the end. So now you can kind of see the pattern. Now that I have it laid out, we can go ahead and start to add it to our card. I'm going to start, it's going to line up here on the left-hand side. The point's going to go up at the top of the score. That is the score of my card. I'm actually going to use my Stampin' Seal for this versus the multi-purpose glue because I may have to adjust these and I want to have the ability to do that. So you can see I'm lined up right here on the edge. The point is right there at the top. Don't press it down because, as I said, if we have to do any adjustments, we want to be able to do that. Now I'll take my next one and I'm just going to line it up. See my pretty little chevron coming together. I'm going to repeat this on all of my pieces. And now it's time to add my very last one. And you can see this one is going to line up here on the side. But it's up at the top versus how the chevron was down there. Now I'm looking at it. It looks like I can adjust a little bit right there. I just want to make sure everything is set right where I want it before I give anything a good press down into place. It's one of my favorite tips that I share with you. I am happy with that. I'm going to flip it over, give it a little back rub, and that is my chevron. Okay, we're going to do just a very quick stamping on this one. I'm going to be using the stamp set Stepping Stones. This one's great, just really great encouragement sentiment. So I thought it was really nice for this chevron. We're going to start with this one. An obstacle is often a stepping stone, a quote by William Prescott. I'm going to pull in a little bit more of that Night of Navy that's in my paper, that By the Bay paper. We will ink that up. And my friends, I am just simply going to stamp that right here at the bottom of my card. I can now adhere my card base onto that piece of mint macaron. I love this type of technique because it allows me to kind of bring in that layer. Now let's do something here on the inside. So remember the piece that I folded incorrectly because I told you it happens. So with that scrap, I cut it down to a 1x1 square. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the points here in the guide, the track of my paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces, okay, 4 little triangles. So there's one, and then I can take these and just line it up right there. So there's a couple little triangles. This is going to decorate the inside of my card. And hey, why not? I mean, this was a little leftover. We're going to use it. I am simply going to add a couple little dabs of adhesive here in the corners. And you can see I'm simply adding these to just give my inside card area. This is where I'm going to write my message. It kind of dresses it up a little bit. And again, let's use some of that gold. We are going to add this to the inside of our card. And now you can really see how that little leftover piece really makes a difference. We're going to add one more thing. I'm going to come in with some of the pastel pearls, and I'm going to use the pink ones. And I'm going to just bring these right here into the chevron corner. You want to know what else is great about adding these? If you had one that just didn't come out quite the way you wanted, you get a chance to hide it if you need to. You could just lay that pearl right on top. But look at what that does. I just think it is gorgeous. And it looks like I'm only going to need about 4 of those. So yeah, what a great little accent to the card. We have the gold, we've got those pearls. It's pulling out all those great colors. And then of course we've got the fabulous look there on the inside. Now that I've taught you the chevron, we're going to move on to the double chevron. And guys, it's very easy as well. I thought this one made a great masculine card, don't you think? So let's talk about what we need for this card. A little Knight of Navy cardstock, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My card base is going to be mint macaron, same as before. This is a 5 1/4 by 8 inch, scored at 4 inches. I've got the inside Very Vanilla, 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. My sentiment on the front is going to be another piece of Knight of Navy and some Very Vanilla. The measurements for these are 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. And this one is a 1 1/2 by 2 1/2. That's what we're going to do our stamping on. And for our designer series paper, so you remember the last one, we needed 6 pieces of designer series paper. Well, this one, we're going to use 11. We're going to follow the same pattern that we did here. And I like to do these in single sessions. So I'm going to do another set of 3 and another set of 2. And you guys have seen me do this. I have already adhered that onto my card base. Now I'm going to show you how to take the remaining pieces. We're going to follow that pattern one more time. So we're going to bring in another set of 3 and another set of 2. I'm going to go ahead and give those a fold. All right, there are my next pieces. I've got them laid out in my chevron pattern. Of course, we have this one here. So now to add this one, we're going to put this next one, we're going to come right along the edge and we're going to line up at the bottom of our card. So of course, there is our seam, there's our score line. And what it's going to do, of course, is give us a nice border here on the inside. So let's go ahead and add these. And guys, you're going to do it in the exact same way. Don't press anything down. Gives you that chance to move things around if you need to. All right, I have those adhered. I like how that looks. My little pattern there in the middle came out just right. Again, little back rub, and there, woo, isn't it nice? Okay, before I do anything else, I'm going to come in. I wanted to add some ribbon to this. And this Knight of Navy ribbon, this is, I've got to look at it, it's just a bordered ribbon. I like to leave it on the spool, and I'm going to come from the inside, and I'm going to tie this in a square knot over here on the right side. So right under left and under. When you pull, go straight up and down. It's going to kind of lock that ribbon in place. Then we go left over right and under. I find this technique is just easier when you leave it on the spool. You're not fighting with as much. We can trim down those tails. All right, that is going to just give just a really nice texture. So of course on my other card I did those pearls. Well, for a masculine card I didn't think I wanted to go pearls. Now let's go ahead and stamp our sentiment. And of course we're going to do that in the Knight of Navy again. This one we're going to say, great works are performed not by strength but by perseverance. Thank you, Samuel Johnson, for that fabulous quote. We will stamp that in the middle of that 1 3/4. I'm sorry, that was the 1 1/2 by 2 1/2. We're going to adhere that now onto the 1 3/4 Knight of Navy. That will go right there. Now, to put this onto my card, I'm actually going to come in with some stamp dimensionals. I want to give a little bit of depth here. And I want you to notice something else. I am not adhering the chevron down. You could, but I think that's what makes this card look so amazing. It's got such dimension on it. I'm going to put dimensionals here and here so that I can bypass that ribbon. I do recognize that that ribbon adds a little bulk, and I want to miss that. So now we can come in, we'll add our sentiment right there. Now, of course, we'll add this. I could have done this at any time, of course. Put this on the front of that Knight of Navy. And I'm going to see if you have a guess what we're going to do on the inside. You guessed it. We have one more piece of our paper. Remember, we're going to cut this to 1 inch, 1 inch by 1 inch. And now we can cut that corner to corner. By the way, if you even wanted to just fussy cut that, you could. But I like using my paper trimmer. I don't always get things cut the way I want. We'll give ourselves our little triangles here, and we'll add that to our very vanilla that goes on the inside. Isn't that a fabulous card? Love, love, love. Let me go ahead and bring in my first one. Guys, that chevron pattern. What a fantastic look. It is simple to do. A great way to use up scraps. And of course, don't forget that free download so that you're sure to do your folding just right with no worries. You can find it at simplysimplestamping.com. Just look for the March 9th, 2023 post, or as I said, down in the YouTube description, there is a direct link. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for the chevron pattern card. I hope you're going to give this one a try. It is a wow for sure. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hey, if you liked the video today, you like that technique, would you give me a thumbs up on YouTube? I would so appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed, why not subscribe to the channel? I share twice a week with you here at Simply Simple Stamping, and I'd love to have you be a part. So be sure to go click the subscribe button, ring the bell. YouTube will let you know whenever I have a new video for you. Have a fantastic day, my friends. Looking forward to stamping with you next time. See you then. Bye-bye.